What happened while we were away, brought to you by a bitter goodbye.
Today, an oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that literally threatens our entire democracy, our basic rights and freedoms, and a fair shot for everyone.
As Joe Biden delivered his farewell address last night in a pre-recorded message where he also took credit for the Hamas hostage deal announced yesterday, despite his own State Department saying,
when it comes to the involvement of President-elect Trump's team, it has been absolutely critical in getting this deal over the line.
Ah, yes, the Hamas hostage deal, which doesn't free any Americans, but it does, calls for a ceasefire, but Israel can resume operations whenever they want, and is really terrible, really great, the worst, best deal of all time, either Donald Trump or Joe Biden is responsible for. Clear as mud? Good. Yesterday, Secretary of State nominee Marco Rubio delivered these remarks during his confirmation hearing.
Out of the triumphalism of the end of the long Cold War emerged a bipartisan consensus. And this consensus was that we had reached the end of history, that all of the nations of the world would now become members of the democratic Western-led community, that a foreign policy that served the national interest could now be replaced by one that served the liberal world order, and that all mankind was now destined to abandon national sovereignty and national identity and would instead become one human family and citizens of the world. This wasn't just a fantasy. We now know it was a dangerous delusion.
This morning, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis made his pick for the U.S. Senate seat to replace Rubio.
Today, I'm proud to announce that I am selecting our Attorney General, Ashley Moody.
Here is Ashley Moody just yesterday discussing immigration.
The actions of this president, who time after time, when we would win in court, would slightly change the policy, even changing the name of a policy, thinking that would let them get around the law to bring more and more people into the United States. They would use terms that they said were legal immigration when it was illegal. And of course, the surge and the encouraged surge into our country promoted more and more illegal immigration. And you can use whatever number you want. I've heard 11 million to 20 million over the last 4 years. Let's take the 11 million number. 11 million people pouring into our country in the last 4 years. If that was a state, that would be a larger population than 42 of our states.
Dr. Patrick Soon Shong, a decorated surgeon and owner of the Los Angeles Times, fresh off of apologizing for his paper's endorsement of Mayor Karen Bass, now says this about the COVID mRNA jabs.
So this idea of the effectiveness and safety of the vaccines is real science. We need to talk about it. And guess what? Not only are we going to have two big crises about the recovery of California over the next decade, but we're going to have to address the rising incidence of cancer. For the first time in my career, I've seen an 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old with colon cancer. The first time in my career, I've had a 13-year-old child in our clinic die of metastatic pancreatic cancer. We have to face this effectiveness and face reality.
MSNBC President Rashida Jones is exiting the network as the channel continues to struggle in the ratings. According to the Daily Beast, Rashida Jones wrote her colleagues in her resignation, quote, "The people here at MSNBC are what makes this place truly special, and our shared mission is what has always united us to keep our viewers, readers, and listeners well-informed, provide critical context, ask tough questions, speak hard truths, say the quiet part out loud, and always adhere to the facts without fear or favor," end quote. Legendary baseball announcer Bob Uecker has passed away. We're learning this morning. He was 90 years old. He served as the play-by-play voice of his hometown Milwaukee Brewers after a short stint playing and earned the nickname Mr. Baseball by the Hall of Fame. And finally, check out this response from Attorney General nominee Pam Bondi over this line of questioning from Senator Adam Schiff.
So let me start with one very specific non-hypothetical. The president has said that my head looks like a watermelon. Will you commit to making him stop?
Senator, I feel for you. I really do. But I can't commit to making President Trump stop calling you watermelon head because, to be honest, your head does look like a watermelon. I mean, damn. And how do you even hold that thing straight with that tiny little pencil neck?
And that's what happened while we were away.